now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips@caymanmarlroad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Millionaire. That was hugely popular back in 1999.
98 when Dawson's Creek premiered.
So everything from 1999 this morning on Kiss FM.
Big news. I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Good morning, Sandy.
Buenos dias.
Happy Friday.
Yes.
How you doing?
It's
How
I
you
believe
doing?
it's Friday, but here we are.
I know.
Exactly.
This week was kind of throwing us all off, I feel like.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts. Did you get everything cleaned up yesterday around your house?
We're still working on things a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was kind of busy, out and about on the road, trying to see what was going on in the community.
And what did you find?
So lots of downed trees for sure. And some trees landed in people's homes, like on the rooftop. Wow. Did you guys see any of those?
No, I didn't see that. I saw a couple of cars with trees on cars.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm going to try to bring up a photo here and show you.
Yeah, they took that down. Yeah, they got that down pretty early in the morning. When I was done with work, they had basically had it chopped up there. I think they were like, yeah, let's get this off the power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So poor CUC, they're actually coming in the show this morning.
Okay.
They're still hard. Yeah, no, for sure. And I know people, everybody wants the power on, and
there's still some people without power this morning, right?
Yes.
That's brutal.
We're gonna talk about some of those cases, but in the meantime, we're gonna just kind of figure out what's going on, and I'm sure it's just because the damage in those areas is far more than people understand.
Well, it has to be something like something more destroyed that they need to replace more than just flipping power back on, making sure it's safe.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. And of course, safety is always the first concern, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't really want to get electrocuted.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. So yes, we're still going to be talking about the storm. We had a really interesting interview yesterday with the regiment, and that was very, very interesting. We learned a lot, in fact, about their role. The Botanic Gardens is in desperate need of volunteers and people to come out and assist them because they have been devastated actually by the storm. I saw pictures yesterday and I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah.
It's bad.
So we're going to head out there today to try to see, if we can highlight that for people to see just how bad the help is needed.
Yeah. I keep seeing stuff from the backyard farmer. They're trying to get help over there.
Yes. So, yeah, it's a lot, it's a lot of people are still questioning if this was just a tropical storm because they're like, there's no way this is packing this kind of wind and moved.
It was definitely a Cat 1 when it went. I'm saying it's a Cat 1 when it went over us because the bulletin came out at 7 a.m.
Yeah,
it was a tropical storm with sustained winds at 65. When we got the bulletin at 10 a.m., it was a Cat 1, and it had already gone by us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So during that
it was definitely, we spoke to Mr. John Tibbetts yesterday, and he said, it was definitely in the high end of a tropical storm transitioning. So
why can we not get correct wind speeds? Does nobody have the
airport doesn't have something
sort of a weather station that can track wind speeds, and we can determine whether or not it was a hurricane or not?
Yeah.
Were the winds 74 or not?
Shouldn't that be something we have?
Don't we have that at the airport?
You know what, Blake? Apparently what we have isn't working. And it hasn't been working for the past 3 weeks. So there's that. We heard about this a couple weeks ago that the weather, I forget what the weather radar has been broken for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I've noticed that wasn't working. But what about they just put up a new antenna at the airport, or just off right by Jose's Rubis there, where they cleared out all that land across from Jose's Rubis, and they put up this new antenna. That's a weather station.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we just have not heard.
They didn't.
I had a private citizen.
No power.
No power. Of course, yeah. All right.
Well, we have a weather station, but it was a power outage. So
I mean, hopefully, we can get that sorted out. Private citizens were saying that, there were indications of it going up to about 84 miles per hour from their instruments, but obviously they're not the official, weather source. So
hey, an instrument's an instrument.
Well, it's
the official weather source apparently was not working.
But how it hit us as well, like it depends on where it was at. Like it
was the northeastern wall that was over us.
Exactly. That's the that's the bad part.
The most powerful part of the storm.
Yeah.
You know what I put in my Amazon weather cart yesterday?
Did you get charger thingy?
A weather station, and also
a weather station.
Yeah. The Rogers house is going to have a weather station now moving forward.
Oh wow!
I will be the official source of weather for the Cayman Islands.
You can buy those instruments on Amazon
because it's Cayman's most accurate forecast right here.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Right.
Okay, but what else did you get? The little powery thingy?
I got the power charger thing. I think it's $1,000. It's called a Judy.
A Judy.
Okay. And what do you do?
Is that with a J?
It's 1,000 watts. Yeah, Judy.
Okay.
And it's made by survivalists. And it's got 3 regular plugs.
Okay.
It can have a lamp on for like 27 hours.
So what do you charge it?
And it's got 3 USB ports. Yeah, you charge it, or it has solar panels you can charge it with.
Perfect.
What's it called? A Judy what? Because when I put that in, I'm getting books called Judy on Amazon.
Judy Power Station. Type that in your Amazon. Amazon. You see it? It's orange.
Yes, 1,000 watts. Yep, I got
1,000 watts. That's it. That's what I'm gonna get.
Wow, it's like $1,000 for real.
$1,000, but
so it's $1 per watt.
That's it. But it lasts for it can last for hours and hours, and you can charge it.
What was that? Was that a sneeze or a dog?
That was a sneeze. Bless you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that was.
We should put that on our.
That was a Shih Tzu.
We should put that on our new game. Name that noise. What's
Yeah.
that?
Oh, let's see what did we record that? Come on.
Is that a Shih Tzu or is that Sandy Hill sneeze?
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, you can. Either,
I'm looking at some other ones. They've got competition.
Yeah, they got the one called the Jackery or.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that one. That one looks kind of
Blake and Aaron, it was CMR to Amazon shop.
Well, hey,
the last thing I needed this morning, but hey.
Hey, what is going on out there? Any top headlines besides the hurricane stuff?
We have a feel good story for Feel Good Friday. You guys are gonna love this story. It's just a combination of like how weird the universe can be at times.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys remember the whole thing with Vela and the fence and the gate. And the gate was like locked shut. They couldn't get in or out.
They took a plane over there to get it.
Yeah, but listen, it wasn't even the property managers who did that. It was the former, like the developers who have since handed the property over to the owners who've hired BCQS. It wasn't BCQS who said, oh, let's get a crane in there. The property managers felt bad for people who, some of their own people are still there locked in. And so they brought a crane all the way from West Bay to remove these 3,000-pound doors.
Jeez.
Or gates. Yeah. So it was just crazy.
You think your Jeep's going to take that off? Like,
no.
And BCQS is blaming the security company for bad advice is what they're saying. But anyway, that's a side story.
Everyone knows it's electric. Keep it open.
It's electric.
So we had someone contact us about that. And she's like, I'm here living with a family member during a storm, an elderly family member. And this was just ridiculous how BCQS handled this. And so we were kind of conversing about that. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time she's ever contacted me in WhatsApp. And then the day of the storm, we had received a message that this little dog had gone missing, this family dog. And it was like a really sad story. And the daughter was like upset that her family dog had gone missing. And they were just losing hope. And we couldn't get the story up because of just, decreased communication until yesterday. And lo and behold, the same woman who was messaging us about the gate situation at Vela turns up with she's like, I found this dog. And I'm like, what dog? Yeah, she's like, the dog that went missing. And
the dog couldn't get out of the gate.
The dog was stuck in the gate.
Yeah.
No, they didn't live there, but I don't know how this dog ended up there. But it was just
they were
crazy.
Close to that. Yeah.
She found the dog. And I mean, the owners were so unbelievably grateful. They were just like, oh my gosh. CMR just, saved the day. You have no idea. Our daughter's so happy. But it was just so bizarre that this lady, who we've never heard from before, contacts us unrelated to the dog, but just, having this side conversation about the gate. And then she ends up being the person who finds the dog.
Wow.
It's just weird.
That's cool.
That's a good story, Sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
All right. I'm going to throw this out. So Sandy, you can maybe help our listeners because you're a parent. And there's a survey that says if you're a parent, you enjoy this beverage more on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Our Lord.
Not alcoholic. Just take a guess.
This beverage more.
Yeah, because we're trying to give out a prize. So
I said wine. That was not it.
Wine was not it.
I mean, I enjoy a Pepsi, but that probably has nothing to do with.
It's not
a
Pepsi
drinker.
I like Pepsi too. I like both. Pepsi or Coke.
I try not to be, but boy, it's addictive.
Wild cherry Pepsi is actually the best.
Oh my gosh.
I like Coke.
I don't drink that one, but just a regular soda, yeah.
I like regular Pepsi too. I like a regular Red Ambulance, little regular Coke. Yep. All right, cool. Well, that's not it. So,
it's not it. Is it any of the little juice packs that kids have?
You only get one answer.
It's not that, but no.
Okay.
All right. So if you think you know the answer to that, you can dial us up 943-1061.
All right. Sharon says coffee. Some of my viewers are weighing in. Cynthia says water.
Also, Sandy, today is Old School Fridays on Blake and Aaron. And we're going back to the year. Not tea. We're going back to the year 1999. I thought we'd play you. Did you come up with a song?
I do have a selection.
Is it this one?
Hi, my name is. My name is.
Sandy Hill.
My name is.
Your new theme song.
CMR. No, that's not it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good one.
You like that? That should be your new.
Yeah, there you go.
Alana's guessing coffee. So
Not coffee.
We got coffee, water, and tea.
Not it.
Nope.
But
Nope.
3
Nope.
staples though.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
All right. So what's your song?
I was gonna go with, I think, TLC, Unpretty.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ah, good.
Yeah, I like that one. That's from 1999. Yeah, we're going back to the year 99.
Wasn't this all after Lisa Lopez
Mm-hmm.
left eye died in a car wreck?
That's a good one.
Was this before or after she died?
I
thought it
don't
was
know.
before. I think it's
I
before.
can't remember because I feel like. Nope, never mind. 2002. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Really
something
before.
that they put out afterwards or something, but yeah.
So Juanita says lemon juice.
Nope.
No.
It's called
This is
lemonade.
a tough one this morning, guys.
Yeah. By the way,
Erin is
you're,
stumping us. She's found a tough question.
I know,
We're
right?
talking about so many things here, but are you doing a lemonade day stand tomorrow?
Probably not.
No. There's
No,
like
I
30
saw
lemonade
that coming up on the
stands
calendar, and
around.
I thought that was a great.
Yeah, so for your listeners or your viewers, if you tomorrow is actually Lemonade Day, so it's island wide between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And there'll be about 40 lemonade stands. So if you see one kind of set up,
wow,
they're raising money for Meals on Wheels. So they're all done by kids,
pretty
and
cool.
obviously the parents hopefully will be there. But yeah, go out and support if you see one of the lemonade stands island wide tomorrow. All right.
By the way, Jamaica goes down into 7 days worth of lockdown.
Oh,
wow,
that bad.
Yeah. Can't get it under control. Nobody wants to listen to the premiere over there, so he's like, we're gonna lock the whole thing down.
That's gonna be wild over there.
Yeah,
because people don't. I mean, even if you say we're locking you down, like people still won't listen. You know.
And we've got a couple. Just as an aside, we actually have a couple of Caymanians who stranded their students.
Oh, wow.
Visas. So yeah, this is the world that we live in.
Have a great Friday.
Thank you, guys.
A great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday morning. All right.
Awesome. Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right, folks. It is Friday, as hard as that is to believe. It's here. Yeah. So yesterday was pretty interesting. We spent a lot of the day just out and about, seeing what was happening on the island, getting a feel for everything that was going on. And any surprises? Well, a little bit. Definitely, I must say that the roof with the palm tree, I'd seen a picture of it, and then when I saw it, I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. So I'm gonna show you guys the recovery message from the premiere as well. Let me just see where I've managed to save this. So the government was pretty busy all day yesterday, just meeting, and we have some photos and stuff. And they're trying to get it together because obviously the people need help. So let's watch the message from the premiere on this. And then I'm going to tell you an interesting thing. I saw a photo and I thought to myself, this looks interesting. And I'll tell you why in a second. So here we go.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be able to speak with you today about our combined efforts to clean up our islands following Grace's impact upon us. This morning, I and the members of the PAC government met with members of the opposition to work out the way forward in cleaning up the debris left by the storm in phase 1 of our actions and working towards phase 2, in which we will assess and offer repairs to damaged homes. Despite the damages from Grace, we are certainly graced in the fact that we've had no loss of life. She left us a mess, but messes can certainly be cleaned up. If possible to save plant life, I would urge you to do so. I know of many mango, pear, and neem trees that look like a total loss after Hurricane Ivan, but were pruned and reestablished, that became lush and bore much fruit. It is much easier to build upon that which we have than to start from scratch. And so we ask each home and business owner to do their part in helping us clean up our islands. If you have waste vegetation, we're asking that you take the remnants of downed trees, vegetation, and green waste to the following areas. The area across the dock at Old Man Bay in Northside, the East End Civic Centre, the Crown property on Anton Bodden Road near Lookout Gardens, the NRA stockpile site on Poindexter Road near Prospect Primary School, the West Bay Stadium, the Georgetown landfill, and the landfills on Little Cayman and Cayman Brack. If you cannot make it to a drop site, please put the vegetation at the side of the road of your home, being careful not to block the road. And the Department of Environmental Health crews will be mobilized to collect the refuse next week. There is a debris management team in place that can help you with your green waste. Please call the Department of Environmental Health at 949-6696 or 925-6593, or email them at dehcustomerservice@gov.ky. I again take this opportunity to thank everyone who has worked so hard, many through the night, to get us back up and running. And thank you very much to the team of CUC for getting power to most of us so quickly. The majority of customers across Grand Cayman now have their power restored, and all power line feeders are back on. There are still about 3,300 customers, which is around 10% of CUC's customer base, without power in various pockets on Grand Cayman. And they're assured by CUC of being hooked back up by 8 p.m. tonight. As we go through recovery from the storm, I ask that you continue to check on your neighbors and work in a collaborative fashion, just as your elected members are doing. We cannot fix the issues left to us by grace without working together. I thank God that lives were spared and that we're able to face a new day in the spirit of love and brotherhood. May God continue to bless us and our beloved Cayman Islands.
Oops, sorry. Forgot to unmute myself. My apologies. I was just saying that that was quite a positive message from the Premier, as he is and his team is working to put the islands back in good stead. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of cleanup efforts. So in case you missed it yesterday, we were out and about driving around with him later on in the afternoon as he checked out his constituency there in Newlands and got a real first-hand insight into what his specific constituents are having to deal with. Lots of downed trees. And we had quite a good drive out, as these things, as good as you can get, since you're talking about a storm situation, obviously. One of the things that struck me is the Premier is really, really keen for people to do everything that they can to save their fruit trees. And I thought that was fantastic. Any indigenous tree, he's like, listen, there will be a way for us to try to save it, and we will do everything that we can. So he was telling people today he's going to be out and about. He's getting a team together of individuals who will be out with the chainsaws and helping people take down trees that need to be taken down, and that any tree that they think that they can save, they will be working diligently to try to save those trees. So they're going to do a lot of work today, I suspect, in Newlands and the surrounding area, Newlands, Savannah. And, the government met yesterday along with the opposition. They've been going through some plans in terms of, how they can help people financially and in other ways. So quite interestingly enough, though, I'm going to show you guys something here, and then I want you to tell me, this is our own trivia question, what is missing in a particular photo. So give me 1 second here. And then I'm going to show you guys what this is. So good morning to Maria. Buenos dias, Alba. Karen is here. Alice, yes, my apologies. The mic was off for a second there. Yeah, they're mostly, I think, East End and some areas of Prospect. But listen, CUC is going to be joining us this morning, and we'll get a better idea of exactly where we are with the power situation. So good morning to Miss Judy. Miss Rudy is here. Juanita, who are you referring to? Oh, Miss Vernita said, my MP from Windsor Park, she passed me standing in the parking lot getting some help from my neighbor. And, I walk with a stick or use my wheelchair, and she didn't even wave. Well, y'all put Barbara back in. I mean, I do think you probably would have at least gotten a wave from, if nothing else, you would have gotten a wave from Alric. But anyway, there you go, folks. You get what the majority choose, and we all have to live with it. So look at this picture here, folks. This was a house that has a palm tree, and we saw a lot of uprooted palm trees in particular, but mango trees, all sorts of fruit trees have been victims of grace, and they were just uprooted, completely from the root. Now look at this one, right? What is so crazy about this is, unfortunately, it fell right on the house. Now, I don't know how much this palm tree weighs, but I'm guessing, what's the weight of a palm tree, you think? Probably a good couple 100 pounds at least. And that landed right on the rooftop. Cracked the roof, cracked the little, what do you call the awning, I guess, around the frame of the roof. Wow. So I think it's one of those situations where they have to be so careful how they decide to take the tree down, because it probably, removing it could probably cause kind of more damage. But that roof isn't designed to sustain a tree on top of it. So I'm thinking they probably need to move that pretty quickly. But that looks pretty crazy, right? So yeah, that's the situation. Wow. That one threw me for a loop. Now look at this picture and tell me what you see here. That is, I don't really want to say out of, I don't want to say out of the ordinary, because it has become quite ordinary, in fact. But tell me what you see wrong with this picture. Omeria, good morning to you. 5 of her mango trees down, and had the backhoe in my yard by 10:30 a.m. Got them all back up. Oh, wonderful. Yes, that's the thing. Like I said, I was really pleased to hear the premier say, let's try to save these trees. These trees are extremely important. So this is members of the PAC government and the opposition meeting on Thursday morning to discuss the cleanup efforts following Hurricane Grace. Each member left the meeting, headed to their respective districts to begin the cleanup in 2 phases. Phase 1 includes clearing down vegetation immediately to clear yards, parks, and roadways and provide immediate roof protection. And then phase 2 will be when members oversee inspections of and possible repairs to homes. So clearing out the debris is essentially the first step. Very, very important. Yeah, Louis, that tree, I think they have to be very, very careful with. Trisha shares that she still doesn't have any power in West Bay. one side of the apartment complex has and mine doesn't. So we're going to find out why potentially that could be when Sasha Tibbetts joins us this morning from CUC. So good morning, Mr. Tommy, joining us from the Bahamas. Yes, living in Freeport. So look at this photo. Has anybody figured out what's going on in this photo? Alice makes a very interesting point. You know, this has made me consider my desire to possibly my desire to possibly you know, buy a deep freeze. We all think, oh, these are great, buying in bulk and all this sort of stuff. But it's not without its drawbacks. I think the obvious drawback is that you know, you will have a large amount of food that could potentially be going to waste. So now I'm thinking, maybe it's better not to buy in bulk. Maybe it's just better to purchase stuff every week and you eat what you purchase in real time and don't store up too much food, because then you have a lot of wastage. So that's kind of where my mind is now that I see people talking about how much food that they have lost because of this because of the storm, really. I mean, I still have to go through my freezer. I think a lot of my stuff in my freezer needs to be thrown out, but child, hardly using the freezer these days. So it's kind of like, let it sit there for another week so I can get around to it. So anybody knows just what's missing here? Irvin says no opposition present. No, Barbara's there. Joey's at the head of the table, actually. Look at him. That's quite funny. We have Mr. McTaggart. But there are some people missing. Notably, thank you, Judy. Alden, he might no longer be the leader, but he's not there at all. Are you kidding me? Where in the world is Alden McLaughlin? Now, you know, since the previous premier did not get in the last time, we have been talking about this obvious, I mean really obvious, MIA on his part. He has just been missing in action. Where is he? Is it because no one in his constituency endured any damage? Everybody in Prospect is perfectly fine. Is that why that particular member isn't there? This isn't a meeting about just, you know, whatever. This is all of the MPs, the government and the opposition meeting together to try to figure out what their plan of action is. Right? So, I'm concerned here that the people of Prospect are really getting little to no representation. I mean, it was bad enough when he was government leader or premier, but now he just doesn't bother to show up. The first sittings of the Legislative Assembly, he didn't show up. Then by the second or third meeting, when we were kind of calling him out, he showed up in time for lunch. Y'all feel me? Judy says it might be for the best as Mr. Roy is different when he's not there. What? So his constituents will not have a representative at the table or showing up to the LA because Roy McTaggart may not have a backbone when Alden is there? You've got to be kidding me, Judy. That doesn't make any logical sense. Anyway, let's pause this part of the discussion. Because, yeah, there's more to this. We need to understand. It's like, where in the world is, what's her name? Carmen Sandiego. This is legit becoming a case of where in the world is Alden McLaughlin? He still has a constituency of thousands of people that he should be representing. And as the former leader of the former premier, I would have thought that he would be way more hands-on with them in terms of recovery. Like, there's people in Prospect, folks, who are still without power. There's down trees, there's house damage. You know, where is their representative? I certainly didn't hear of him going door to door and talking to anybody. So not only is he missing at the table, he's also missing in real life. So Alice suggests that we could go and check out South Coast Bar to see if we could locate him there. I don't know. Judy, how are they going to get the help if they don't even have representation? Sorry, Red Bay. My apologies. I keep saying Prospect, but he's actually the MP for Red Bay, and Sabrina is the MP for Prospect. My apologies. Someone else said John is also missing. And they said, off topic, I heard that the airport security company might be up for sale. Stick a pin in that discussion, folks. I've got some very, very interesting things to tell you about his company. There is a lawsuit that someone has won, a judgment for non-payment of salaries and so on. We'll get to that. We haven't quite put up that story yet. But you know what? We're still in grace recovery mode. We've got Sasha Tibbetts here with us. Sasha's extremely busy, so let's not make him wait another minute. Good morning, Sasha. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Sandra. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
All right.
And I see you've got that fan running again. That's good advice. I've been trying to do that since we last spoke.
Yeah.
Wow, things have changed since you and I spoke last time.
Yes. But
it's amazing, right?
Yeah, that's the utility business. It's always a different thing the next day.
Yeah, I guess it's life here in the tropics as well.
Yep, very much.
Obviously, we took a licking from Tropical Storm Grace, although most people think that this must have been at least a level 1 hurricane at some point when it was passing us. The winds were really kicking up. We've seen down trees all over the place, down lines. Now, I want to ask you first and foremost, Sasha, I know a lot of people are really, really anxious to find out what's going on in their specific areas. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Sure. But when I see a down wire, one of those black wires, I always assume that that's a power cable, but I think probably most times it isn't.
Yeah, so we do have some power cables that have the black insulation coating on them. Those are typically the service wires. But the vast majority of the insulated ones are telecoms. That being said, I think the correct thing to do in both instances is don't touch it.
Right.
Because even the telecom, at least the old copper telecoms, they can be energized. The fiber, not so much, but it's not worth taking the risk. Don't do it. The consequences can be very catastrophic for somebody to do that. Even though the chances are remote, it's really just don't. Call us, call 911. Yeah. If it's in a precarious position for you, don't take it on yourself to do it. Don't even try and use insulated things to do it. Just don't. Just
leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is it possible for power cables to be down and you still have power?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I've seen some on my road. So I'm thinking.
Yes. So it is possible for wires to be on the ground and still energized.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't touch them.
No.
All right. So we have Daisy. She's in Prospect by Omega. There's other areas that do not have power. So can we get from you a real-time update of who is without power this morning? Still?
Yeah. So we have approximately 1,000 customers that are still out. The vast majority of them, about 700, are in the East End area, and there's some significant damage that we're working on that site. There is some in Omega Bay, and there's some in the Mystic Retreat area. Those are probably our largest areas right now, and there are a few condo complexes on the northern 7 Mile Beach area that have outstanding service issues that have to get resolved today.
So a few in East End. I think East End is still waiting.
Yeah, well, it's not a few. It's East End right now is our largest outage. It's about 600, and I think our map is showing 691 customers in the area.
Oh wow!
And the crews are working on it today. I think we're targeting a 4 p.m. restoration for that outage zone. Typically, what we will do though is if we can minimize the zone by doing some switching, we will do that, and maybe shrink the 691 to a smaller number. But it's that one. I think that's where we had the most pole damage in that area, and it's just more work to get it done. And what we've been doing over the last couple of days is really focusing on getting as many customers back on as possible for sort of grabbing all the low hanging fruit. And unfortunately, where there's big pole damage, that's not low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
So we've prioritized customers that we can get on rapidly, and now we're into the hard stuff.
Right. Okay. Now tell us what the hard stuff includes, like what sort of damage, because again, I know people are anxious and they may not understand. So if you can break it down in layman's terms, what exactly is your crew dealing with? Because I know you guys were out as soon as you possibly could that night. In fact, in the Lower Valley area, I think the power tricked on about 6 o'clock or 6:30. It came on for blip, and then I thought, "Ooh, that's hopeful."
Yeah, I was in the control room for that one.
Yes.
And when every time we closed in a circuit, everybody in the control room, there was a little chair. It's yes, next.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
And unfortunately, there was so much, and I'm going to call it minor damage because compared to Hurricane Ivan, this is peanuts, right? But it was an extreme amount of minor damage, which is what you would expect from a storm like this. I went out probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the day of the storm, where I took a chance and said, I think it's okay to go and take a look at the lines and see what was up, because one of the key things for us after a storm like this is really knowing where the work is. We can't. So I would say the first 2 or 3 hours before we started work, even while it was still windy, we had people in trucks, SUVs, pickups, going where they could to kind of get a handle on where the damage was. And I chose a circuit to trail, and I was very, very impressed at how well the infrastructure stood up. I was expecting a lot more damage than I did. In fact, it took me quite some time to find a broken pole. There was a lot of things like a broken crossarm hanger or an insulator that broke or something like that, but it's minor. You send somebody up in a truck and address it. But it seems like most of the broken poles that we got were in the East End district. I know there was a few in West Bay as well. And we've been working around those. So the biggest challenge is when we have to replant poles. It's a lot more equipment. It's a lot more involved. And it's a lot more crews. And so when we take that many crews to deal with that, those are crews that could be serving other outages and maybe getting hundreds of other customers back on. So we've really been prioritizing it on a sort of major infrastructure, hospitals, et cetera, as much as possible, and other things like that. But it also try to grab as many low-hanging fruit so that we can get as many customers on as possible. In fact, I think it was 1:34 a.m. the day after the storm, so that would be the 19th. We had all of our circuits back on. That's 7-8 hours after we started restoration. So that's just the main circuits. It's not all the branch lines that go down the side roads, which is what we've been addressing since then. But that's a pretty significant achievement, considering that we actually had an all-island outage in the middle of the whole restoration, caused by a disturbance that we picked up while we were doing restoration. And so the teams have I mean, the challenges that they've overcome is tremendous, and the hours that they're working is phenomenal. You know, we actually have been enforcing our 16-hour max work shift a lot in the past couple of days, and we're even finding instances where we're having to argue with staff saying, "Go home, go to sleep. We need you back tomorrow. Go home." And I even had one of our staff say, "So how long do I have to sleep before I can come back to work?"
My gosh,
you know, and the dedication and love of country is phenomenal and truly inspiring, actually.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, burnout is a real thing for utility, I think, employees during times like this. And I think we all appreciate how much CUC staff have been working around the clock since the storm. So what sort of time estimates do we have in terms of, let's start with Prospect.
Sure.
So the people in Prospect who still don't have power, I understand that they were working overnight. Running some wires and that sort of thing. So what are we looking at for Prospect?
Do I have a way of sharing our outage, or do you want to share?
Yes, you can. If you put it up, do share screen, I think, is an option for you.
Let me see if I can give it
then I can
the share button here.
Yeah.
Share screen. Do I choose a window or something? I have to take the whole screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Yep. As long as you don't remember, don't share anything else.
Yeah. No, I'll keep my email off.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. I think I figured it out.
Yeah. There we go.
Now? Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. So this is our outage map, and I'm going to have to, I guess, go over and navigate on it. All right. So zoom out. So I don't know if, oh, sorry.
Yes.
So each one of these sort of little squares represents an outage. Those circles are also outages as well.
All right.
And so when there's a shaded area, that's sort of an area that's out. So right now we have, so when I looked at this morning, it was 1,000 customers affected, which you can see over here. And there was maybe, I think, 12 outages. Now we're at 30. And what that is customers calling in about individual outages. So to give one example, this one here, you can click on it, see customers affected 2.
Right.
And then we have estimated restoration time. We're doing our best to keep this accurate, but it is a job. So if we take a look at the East End one, we're seeing here that the estimated restoration time is 4 p.m. I know that is the target that they're working on for this outage.
Okay. Right.
Another big, there's a few other larger areas in the Beach Bay area. They're 8 p.m. today. You had asked about Prospect. It's really just Omega Drive, to be honest.
Okay.
There are a couple of smaller outages within Prospect.
Right.
And those individual customers can look on the map and find their details, but maybe we don't do their individual ones on the show.
So how did you zoom in, Sasha? Because I look at this map all the time. There's an outage. Now, how did you get to the street level? I've never seen the street level before.
It's just zoom in. You can use the plus and minus up here, but I'm using a touchpad, so I can pinch to zoom.
Oh, okay. I always just look at the bigger map.
Actually, I can do it on the screen as well if you have a touch screen.
Right.
You can click on the dot of the outage.
Okay.
So Omega Bay, we're expecting actually not until midnight tonight, and that is an updated target.
Right.
I think we have another large area. One of the condo complexes down here has some challenges with the underground service cables that have a significant amount of work. So we're projecting midnight for that as well. And oops, that's not what I wanted to do. You seeing this still?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the map. Yeah.
And then there's some work in Breezy Castle that we're also looking at about a midnight. And those are the major ones. There are a number up through the West Bay Peninsula. I talked about some condos. That's what these ones are.
Okay.
See if we've got some updated times. Yeah. Also, these are complex because I think it's to do with the service to the facility, which usually involves the owner's electrician as well. So there's some logistical challenges there. This one we're saying 9 a.m. I'm not sure if that has been updated as yet. So I'll just stop sharing and we can get back to the discussion.
Okay. So just a few comments here. Rosebud Drive in Northside is still without power. Any estimates on Rosebud Drive?
I don't know about Rosebud Drive specifically. I'm going to take a quick look on the outage map just to see if it's there. In fact, customers that can do just that, take a look on the map. Yes. Everything that we know about and working on is on there. There are Rosebud. I'm not sure exactly where Rosebud is. I'm seeing a few small outages listed on the north side, Queens Highway area. Not so much on the Rum Point Drive. There's one off of Rum Point Drive. I don't know if that's Rosebud or not. But yeah, so customers can take a look on there. In there, if they're not seeing an outage square, it's best for them to just call our outage hotline 945-1282, and they'll be able to just leave a message in the same way that it does. We've got an operator that's manning that and is interfacing between that and our outage management system.
Right. Now, is that map updated by an actual person, or is there like an automated? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I will admit it's a very cool system, but I will admit we really tested it very well this outage when you got 30. So the system speaks or gets information directly from the meters. So when the meters are out of power, it sends a signal to us saying I'm out of power. And the geographical information systems that we have know where all those meters are. It also knows the circuits that it's connected to, and we can use the system to diagnose what part of the circuit is out. Now, in a hurricane, when you have hundreds of damaged spots, that prediction isn't terribly accurate. But now that we're down to the smaller outages, it certainly is very helpful to have customers call into the outage number if they haven't been if they are not seeing themselves reflected on the map as an outage.
Now let's put in perspective, Sasha. How many total customers lost power as a result of the storm?
So during the storm, we still had 4 circuits that remained energized. So we generated throughout the storm. That's 4 out of 25. So not a very large number. I don't know offhand the number of customers, but 4 out of 25
I think in the map we saw like
20% or so.
20, yeah, I think we saw like over 28,000. I want to say
total customers is 31,000, and more than 31,000, closer to 32 actually. And now we're down 1,000. So vast majority of customers.
But I just want people to appreciate that CUC was able to reconnect over 28,000 people in basically less than 24 hours. The vast majority were up. And
but within 24 hours, we were at about 85%.
Yeah. So Denise, I'm hopeful that you're going to get power soon. She's been impacted there in Rosebud. Brenda says, good morning. A big shout out to all the courageous linesmen from CUC. And I hope CUC will just award them. They're really the front line and backbone of these disasters, and may they continue to be blessed. So Brenda, Sasha was just saying how they have to gently encourage them to really go home and get some rest as well. So, I'm sure they feel the stress in the community of everyone. Every time you see a CUC person right now, you're like, what's going on in this area and what's going on? So the quicker they get it up, the less they hear of complaints. So.
Yeah, we have some staff that today are coming on to their third 16-hour day.
Oh my God.
And we're really still having to argue to get them to leave at the end of the day because they don't want to leave until the job is done.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So Anya says people need to cut down trees to minimize wire damage. Is there anything that we could do? I mean, obviously if the wind takes down a power line, I mean, I actually saw some poles down. I want to talk about that in a second, but is there anything preventative that people can do going into hurricane season that would certainly assist?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. There's two things that people can do. In the short term, you can have your trees trimmed. Trim trees blow over less frequently. Yes. Although I'll be the first to say I really love to see a big, tall, lush tree with long arms and big shady spots. But they can be a little bit impractical, even in a small tropical storm. I won't call it a small tropical storm. It was a good one. But we can see by the number of really nice trees that have grown over, fallen over rather, perhaps some trimming might have assisted there. The other thing that we really want to encourage the people, the customers to do is when they are planting trees, just please look up.
Right.
That tree that is sitting in your 7-gallon pot that might be 3 foot tall right now, in 5 years, it's going to be 20 feet tall and it's going to be in the lines.
Yeah.
And particularly if it's a palm tree, you can't trim a palm tree. You can only cut it down. Right. So really, really think twice about those palm trees. And I know people like to put them in the front of their properties. And they do grow. Once they get into the lines, they're a safety hazard to you.
Here's an example. Palm tree.
Yeah, palm tree. Yes.
I mean, this fell in the opposite direction, away from the CUC line.
It did. And if that tree were to fall onto the line, it's coming down. And guess what? You're now living in one of those areas that has a lot of work to do, and it's going to be days later because of that one tree. And in fact, I think there are some areas in Prospect that are like that. There's a tree that went clean across the road and took the line with it. And it's one of those, okay, this is going to be a hard one to fix. We're going to isolate it, make it as small as possible. We're going to come back to it when we have the time to get to it. So, that we really do want to encourage people to, plant trees good 20 feet away from the lines when you're thinking about where you want to put them. Or if you do want to put trees in the front of your property, choose ones that won't go above 10, 15 feet when they're fully mature.
So here's another one that says, thank you, CC, even though the bills will be high as hell. But yeah, we appreciate you because y'all got the power.
Thank you.
Yes. Sam is one of those people who is impacted by the Prospect area outage and Prospect Drive. So she's saying that it's 10 homes, and she's wondering, how did part of the road get fixed, but not the whole road, about a quarter mile down?
Yeah, I don't know the full story there, but I do know that somewhere around the sort of Y in Prospect Drive, there was a tree that fell across the road, and it was that was one of those areas that we had to sort of isolate the area as much as possible, and we're going to come back today and deal with the more significant damage.
Yes. All right, Daisy, trying to go charge her cell phone. Folks, keep those mobile devices charged up. Larry joining us.
Charge them from your car too.
Yes, indeed. Denise says Rosebud is next to Palm Crest and Old Robin Queens Highway. So maybe Sasha can email somebody to kind of check on that for you, Denise.
Yep.
Carrie Ann says all the best for CUC team. They're working hard to restore light. May God bless and keep them safe. And people, speaking of safe, I mean, I think people also underestimate the danger involved for your guys who are out there, on the road. I mean, they're dealing with down wires and potentially down poles, and there is
lightning.
Exactly. So there's a certain dangerous element to their jobs as well, and we're so thankful that I can't recall ever hearing of any major incident after a storm during the restoration process. So I think they're taking the safety precautions, and we don't want to rush them at the risk of someone getting injured.
Yeah, I mean, safety is our number one priority. It's our top value. Every employee has the right to shut a job down for safety, even at the expense of productivity. Any employee can refuse to do work if they believe they don't have the right tools, the right training, and so on. And we really, really do emphasize working safely first and productivity second, to make sure that all of our staff do go home at the end of the day in the same way that they
with their families.
Maybe just a little bit more tired.
Yeah. Trisha has a question. So Denise has logged the faults. Denise, hopefully we can get some updates here for you shortly. Trisha wants to know what's going on because she lives in a complex where half of the complex has power and the other half doesn't. How does that work?
It'd probably be the way that the service is configured for that particular complex. Maybe it has, particularly if it's a larger complex, it might have two transformers that are feeding it. Maybe one of the transformers fuses is blown, or the transformer itself might be damaged. That's
that would be an explanation for that. Yeah.
Possible explanation.
So someone who lives in the eastern districts and East End, all the way out and right before you get to Moritz, said that some of the concrete poles had literally snapped in half. Now, explain to me again. I can't remember this, to be honest, but the idea with the concrete poles is that they're more pliable, like they're more likely to bend and break, which is what you want.
No, they're very, very strong. I'm not aware of concrete poles, but to be honest, I'm not intimately involved with the job. But I had heard that some of our fiberglass poles in the area, because we have quite a few in that area, that they were some of the ones that went down.
Right.
The fiberglass ones are very, very bendy. They're capable of bending quite a bit before they would break, and that's sort of one of the benefits of them. So, one of the things that we're going to do after this outage, and really any other outage that we have, is we'll look at the materials, see how they failed, lessons learned, and it'll go into anything that needs to be changed, whether it was a workmanship issue or whether it was if it's foreign debris hitting the pole, there's nothing we can do to design against that. But if it's a material spec or an installation issue, it'll go into lessons learned, and we'll make it better and stronger the next time.
Right.
So, I mean, we learn a lot from this. I mean, one of the things that I was fully expecting to see was a lot of damage on the transmission lines, which are the really, really tall poles. And, we've had a lot of damage on those in past storms, even the one in November last year. And with that pole, everybody remembers, on fire off of the top of Selkirk Drive, and the press coverage that got. And that pole's now been renewed to the new standard. And so I live in the Grand Harbor area, and when I went out, that was the first one I was looking at and see did the new ones stand up to the test, and they did. They were all perfect, which is great.
Obviously, Sam is upset that she continues to be without power. Sam, I think they have a prospect. Yeah, I think that was it 4 p.m. for that Prospect area, Prospect Drive?
Let me take a quick look and see.
Roughly. And then we've got Tracy, who's asking about number 144 Sea Spray Drive. The map shows there is no outage, but her friend has
I tell you what, Sandra, I'm not going to be able to take all of these things, but if I can ask the listeners to perhaps put it in the chat, and I'll pass the messages on after I get off the show to our operators. Okay, let's see if I can get into.
Suzette says, great job to CUC and their team. Good morning, Marshall. Miss Brenda says, Grace was a hurricane. We were hit by a hurricane, not a tropical storm.
Awesome.
Let's not fall into the habit now of consuming and digesting erroneous information, especially with natural disasters. Well, the problem, Brenda, is the official sources have said it was a tropical storm. So they tell us to listen to the official sources. And, if we're listening to the official sources, they maintain that it was a tropical storm. Now, again, we understand that there's some wind instrument that has been broken for the past 3 weeks. So I don't know how much that played into, accurate readings locally.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, it's entirely possible that the storm was transitioning into hurricane and we were getting hurricane force winds. That's why we were under hurricane watch.
Yeah, I saw discussions from a number of sort of private weather station owners.
Yes.
That recorded gusts in the 80, 90, 100 mile an hour range. But when you dig into the data that they were sharing, they were average wind speeds in the 55, 60 miles an hour. So that's just a very strong tropical storm, typical of what the official weather forecast was saying. I haven't personally seen data to suggest that it was a hurricane, but it was very close.
Right. And I mean, let's be honest, Sasha, we are underestimating what 50 mile per hour winds can do or 60 mile per hour winds, Yeah. We think, just because it's a tropical storm in our minds, somehow we have concluded that that's not all that bad. But That's a lot of speed.
And even with the tropical storm, well, only a tropical storm, should I say, as opposed to Hurricane 1, 2, 3, or 4. We still saw, at least I personally saw in the development that I'm in, 4-foot storm surge.
Yeah,
right up to the top of the canal wall.
Yeah,
and you know, it came in very, very quickly and then left very, very quickly. But it was there, you know, and so I can only imagine or remember back to Hurricane Ivan when that water came up, and it came up so very, very quickly. 10 minutes it wasn't there, and 10 minutes later it was, oh my gosh, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Carol says there's an outage on Cadet Drive by Agriculture Ground because there's a pole down.
I know we know about that one. I've seen it. I've seen it in our outage group chat.
Okay. So Carol, they're working on that for sure. El Ray wants to know, we've got two opposing things here that's kind of interesting. So El Ray is saying we hopefully won't be penalized for any losses that CUC may have because of the, you know, down poles and so on. And then Fakian says that we should get a free month. So
I can't promise that, but I can promise that we don't bill for electricity that we don't serve.
Yes. So, Carol says we understand they're working hard everywhere. I hope they get to us today. It is hot, and yeah, I mean, I sympathize.
We're working very, very hard today, third day in a row, to make sure that we've mopped everything up today.
Yeah, I mean, this is
August. Our target. That's what everybody's working on.
Yes, and it definitely is August heat. So, folks, we've heard a little bit of good advice about even what types of trees to plant in your yards. I'm not a fan of palm trees in any event, but I got to tell you, recently we were looking at some potential palm trees, and my friend Kevin, he's my HD TV guru in Cayman, right? So he's like, yes, get these palm trees. And when they came and delivered them, I said, hold on a second. I just want the little stumpy palms, if anything. And even those I'm not really a fan of, but these looked like they were really going to get big. And the lady from ProPlus said, oh yeah, they're going to grow to like, I don't even know, 20 something feet or whatever. And I said, oh no. I said, please take them back. So I went against his advice because I just thought it was ridiculous, because after it grows past a certain height, it's uncontrollable. Like you'd have to cut the whole thing down, right? And I just didn't want that kind of maintenance. But the point here is they interfere with power lines, depending on where you plant them. Obviously, as we can see, when they fall, they're going to fall in something, whether it's your car, your house, you know, the shed out back or whatever. So please make those types of considerations in terms of your foliage and what you're planting around the house. Anything else that we can do during a storm, Sasha, that would be good advice? Like, I'm now rethinking this concept of stocking up on like getting a freezer full of food, because all that's going to go to waste. Should we all be going through our refrigerators now and cleaning out everything? How long does food, I mean, I don't know if you might know this.
I'm not going to get into the food the food advice. I'm not sufficiently qualified for that.
Yeah,
but I will tell you my personal experience in this storm. I was out for about 17 or 18 hours.
Yes.
And I still had ice in my freezer when the power came back on. In fact, that was one of the first things I did. I was like, okay, let me go and check and make sure the ice hasn't melted and then becomes one big solid block when the freezer turns back on. And it was all there.
Okay.
So if the ice was there, the food was still frozen. And so therefore it's good. I think the fridge, you really have to take a look. Some fridges will show you the temperature on the inside. I think mine was about 47 Fahrenheit, which is probably okay. I have eaten food from in there since, and I'm still alive, and I'm not sick. So I think that the trick is really to keep the fridge closed and be strategic about when you go into it. You can't go and stand in front of the fridge with the door open and say, what do I want today? You know,
not during a storm,
because all that cold air will fall out very quickly. You kind of want to think what's in there, go grab it, and close the door right behind you. So, I mean, that's really only a tip when you're dealing with a maybe 1 day outage for those very unfortunate customers that are now on their third day. I would say that the stuff that's in their fridge is probably, if they haven't eaten it already, it's probably at risk.
Yeah. So, Frederick, the outage map on the CUC website is your best bet for as close as you can get to real-time updates. So we were just showing that a couple minutes ago, they are updating that estimated sort of uptime. Avril says there's a power outage for her in the garden retreat area.
Yeah.
You're aware of those?
Yeah, we're aware of that. There's some issues, I think, with the service cable. And we're working with I believe we're working with the complex's electrician on it.
Okay. Any word on Beach Bay on Pebbles Drive?
I don't know specifically about Pebbles Drive, but in Beach Bay, if I go back to the outage map and take a look, I think they were an 8 p.m. Restoration, if I remember correctly.
Thank you, Al Ray. He says the official sources get their information for the NOAA. So, and that's where we were going directly to them as well. That's the thing about information in this day and age, folks. It's pretty much at the fingertips of most people. You just got to make sure that you are interpreting the information accurately. And obviously, you know, we're no weather experts around here, so we do try to leave that up to the experts.
Yeah, we're showing 2 outage areas in the Beach Bay, which is a big neighborhood.
Okay.
And they're both 8 p.m. targets.
8 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Elizabeth, hang in there.
That number, the outage number again, for those that wish to report an outage, even if they think it's the second or third time that they're reporting it, 945-1282. And we've got operators that are listening to the messages that are left. You have the option to leave a message, or you can just put in your information over the phone with the phone.
So record. Carol is saying that hers isn't showing up on the map. So Carol, just a reminder, that's why I wanted to find out how that map is done. So someone actually has to put it on there. It doesn't mean that they're not aware of it, but maybe that person who's responsible for the map is just a little bit tied up, and they'll soon be updating the map. So good morning, Bishop. Hero says, Bishop Hero Blair says that CUC can teach other Caribbean companies, about some
I guess he means
alacrity. So he's pleased with how you guys are handling things.
Thank you.
And you know, Sasha, even the premier was saying yesterday when we were doing our drive about with him a bit later on in the afternoon, he's saying, even in terms of, you know, a lot of us are cussing CUCs with the fees and whatever, but when we look at the region for what CUC is charging, that many people would be surprised that CUC falls in the mid-range.
Our prices are middle of the pack for the rest of the Caribbean.
Yeah. So that's very interesting, I think. Damien, so why is not the damage in Cayman Bracken Little Cayman if it was just a TS? Well, I think it's
they were further away. They were further away from the storm.
Further away from the actual storm. It was more of a direct hit on Grand Cayman.
They had a geographic advantage.
Yeah. So you guys lucked out this time, Damien. I mean, sometimes, remember, the islands there is that body of water between us. So sometimes, you know, just the positioning of the storm is useful. So Mari says, thank you, CUC. I'm back up and running.
Glad to hear.
Siebert, good morning. Mary says the linemen have done a fantastic job and they're very much appreciated.
They really, really have. And our folks that work in the substations and control room and the customer service staff and the people on the phones and our corporate comms doing their best to keep the customers informed. It's really great to see it all happen.
Al says CUC always does a great job on paying for great service, so he expects nothing less.
You can hold us to
50
that.
plus hours, everything had to be thrown out. Oh gosh, Wendy,
really
sorry.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Marshall says Grace was terrible. She came and made a mess. Now it's time to clean up. Yes, lots of cleanup efforts. Sue, thank you so much. Talking about those tall palm trees again. So El Rey has a Tesla battery. So do you guys recommend? So he was able to keep the lights on from 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Oh, pretty good. Great. Call Green Tech today. James Whitaker, definitely worth the investment. Ooh, so El Rey, if I could afford one of those, I was kind of, you know, when we did our solar, we were like, are we really going to need it? And now we see that, yeah, there's probably that odd time that you would definitely need it. So backup generators.
A shameless plug here, Sandra.
Yes. I mean, backup generators and Tesla batteries, all these things can help.
Yeah. So no, they can. And in fact, for those that can afford them, they're great at what they do in providing backup power. And I mean, no utility in the world provides 100% reliable power. Our average outage time this year is obviously going to be a bit different. It's about 3 hours for the year. So you would perhaps normally factor that into your investment decision on backup supplies, whether that's tolerable or not. Obviously, in the event of storms, some people 50 hours now. The lady that just messaged, and it's a different decision. But what I did want to talk about is kind of excited about a pilot program that we're running now with in-home or in-business battery banks, much like I think it was Elray was the person who wrote in earlier on. So CUC is working with a small group of customers to do just that, where CUC would actually partner with the customer in getting it installed, share some of the cost of it. And then the customer would get to use the battery in instances like this to back up the power. But while the power is on, CUC would be able to, with a control system, be able to use the battery to help the grid. So it's kind of taking the same asset and letting two parties use it. And it's a way of, so with CUC partnering with the customer on the cost side, they get a discount on their battery and we get a discount on a battery as well. And so anyway, it's a pilot program. Hopefully we can see that the dollars work out, and if it does, it's something that we'll be rolling out in greater.
It'll be beneficial to everyone. Yeah. So Mary wants to know, how do you determine which 4 transformers, if that's the correct word, to leave on? Because you said there was like 4 feeds, I think, that were left.
There was 4 circuits that were remaining.
Yeah.
So we don't choose in those instances. So what ends up happening is as the wind blows or trees fall, etc., debris flies, if there's damage to a circuit, usually much like if you had a short in your home, the breaker would open. So very similarly, we have breakers and protective devices and fuses out on the line. And so if the lines touch each other or fall down across each other, it'll create a short, and the fuse and or the breaker will trip. And so it's offline. And in instances where there's a storm happening, we're not going to go out and fix it. So we have to wait for the storm to pass. And it just so happened that those 4 circuits, they were all pretty small, so they didn't cover a very large area, but they didn't sustain sufficient damage to cause them to trip. So it was just, I guess they were in better locations, or maybe there wasn't as much trees around or something. But we didn't choose them. They just didn't fail.
Right. So Louis wants to know if CUC is investing in solar farms to lower the cost to consumers.
I would love to do that, and in fact, it has been the goal of the company for several years to do that. And the regulatory regime right now is very difficult for CUC to do that. Well, I think OFREG is keen to create competition in that arena. And we're very keen for them. I mean, we've offered to go ahead and do it while they're working on creating that regime, but I think they really want to create the framework for competition first. But we've designed a solar concept that we're ready to install it, and it would save customers between $3 and $6 million a year, even after paying for the cost of the solar on their fuel bill.
Wow.
So it really is a no-brainer. We're very keen to do it, and as soon as we're given the opportunity, we will be doing a lot of it.
Yeah. So Cece says she's going to continue cussing, but she thinks that about the bill, but she still thinks that CUC did a fantastic job. Louis is encouraging generators for the whole house. I know that we are now at least thinking about it a bit more. Josephine asking about Flow. I don't know. We'll see if we can find out from Flow. Anne says that their generator kept them running for 30 hours. Wow. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. The generators are expensive to run too. I think somebody mentioned the price of fuel for them. It is significant, and typically those backup generators aren't as fuel efficient as the units that we use at the plant.
Yeah.
But
I tell you, when
sometimes it's the only option, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, during emergencies. But Sasha, I got to tell you, when I really appreciated CUC, even in terms of the bill, was during Ivan, when we had to get, we just had those little portable generators, but having to top them up every single day with gas. I was like,
$20-$30 a day of gas. It gets very quickly.
I was just like, whoa, this is a lot of money. So I was just like, please, CUC, get the power back on.
Actually, we had a few customers call us in this outage and saying, look, we have a generator we're running, but Jesus, fuel is expensive. Can you please hurry up?
Yeah. Damien is saying fuel costs actually might be going up because of the Afghan situation in China getting in there. I don't even know what's going on in Afghanistan right now. It's a hot mess. Okay, well, folks, Sasha's extremely busy, so his team will make a note of.
I haven't written anything down, but after I log off, I will go and look at the chat for maybe the next 10-15 minutes.
Yes.
And take any addresses down that people wish to share. Okay,
sounds good. And we will, folks, look at a few things. I did see that Carolina Ferreira from the Cayman Islands Red Cross shared a link about food safety after a storm. So we'll have a look at that. And we'll also talk about some other initiatives that the government has been working on. So Sasha, thank you guys so much. Please extend our thank you to your entire CUC team. Obviously, we see the linesmen. They're the ones out there doing the hard work, but we know that there are people supporting them in the background. There's managers who need to, ensure that everything is done in a safe way. There's customer service agents, like everyone really is working around the clock at the moment. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And thanks for having us again.
Okay. All right, my dear.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. All right, folks. So again, that's Sasha Tibbetts, VP of, I think it's customer service and something else that I can't remember right now, but we appreciate him coming on the program. Al Ray says a propane generator might be the way to go. Yes, I think that's probably a pretty good idea. John, what makes the cost so high? I think we went over that last time, the last show. So if you missed that show, which was about, I want to say just 2 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. Go and you can search on the page and it'll give you all the details. But yes, the fuel factor actually accounts for a large percentage of the bill. So Chantel says that's what we have. Is that a propane generator? El Ray says, or buy a 2020 F. Oh my gosh, El Ray, stop it. Can I just tell you? Recently, I'm not really a vehicle person per se. I'm like, listen, if it starts and it moves forward and reverses, and I can drive it and I've got AC and, I guess radio, a few bells and whistles. I'm not like, oh, I get excited about cars and I must run and go get a Tesla or anything like that. But I must tell you, a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, my husband was watching this YouTube video. He's all into tech and solar and plants and everything else. And I saw this vehicle, this truck that was amazing. And I'm like, what is that? And it is this 2021 F-150 that El Ray is talking about. Apparently, it has a generator and a battery that you can plug your entire house into, basically, and run your entire house off the grid. It is an amazing vehicle. I'll have to ask Marlon for the link to that video, because even if you're not into technology, you're not into cars or whatever, believe me when I tell you that this redefines not just an F-150, because I never thought a truck could ever be this jacked up with like technology and just all these bits and pieces that you just jaw-dropping, amazing. But in addition to that, it is, let me see if I can get him to send the video link. I'll share it in the chat. Yeah, it is an amazing video to just watch. Like, you will be blown away by the technology that they are unveiling in vehicles. I'm like, a vehicle running your house? Plug it? What? It just blew my mind to another level. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know who, El Ray, who will be the first person to have that vehicle in Cayman, but I'm excited to see one in person. So Janet says that her generator only used 20% of her fuel and it ran for 18 hours. So that's great. Is it just a regular gas generator or do you have propane? I'd be interested to know. Karen, what was the question? I'm sorry. So yes, I'm Sasha. Oh, Alice is responding to Sasha. So East End, as Sasha said, Sasha Tibbetts, that is, has the biggest pocket of the biggest outage area right now. So folks, sorry, but it definitely is something that that we got to look at. Now look at this. So I was here after Blake made his comments about these battery options. And so I'm looking at this on Amazon. Check this out. This is called the Jackery. And it has 3 plugs. So that means I could do like a laptop. And that's normally the most important thing for me is a laptop with the regular plug. And I've got 2 more. I've got a USB-C port. What is that? 5 volt, 2.4 amp. So that's 2 it looks like 2 USB-C ports. And then I have a quick charge 3.0. So that looks like the regular USB 3.0. Interesting. I'm gonna have to get me one of these for real. So it's truly portable for a variety of activities and home backup power. So you can see here they're using it out in the camping world, but you could certainly use it inside your house. So remember those of you who were complaining about coffee? Now y'all know I was sitting there going, what? But I'm also not a coffee drinker, so I don't appreciate the necessity to have your morning coffee. Maybe if I was a coffee drinker, I probably would. But you could do a blender for 13 hours. This is what they show you that it could be used for. Travel mug, 9.5 charges. Coffee maker, 88 minutes. So you could be brewing all day. That's a lot of coffee. An electric grill for 50 minutes. So for those of you who don't have a gas stove, maybe this is a little bit of a cheaper option, but these are not cheap either. So then it says own the limitless solar power. So apparently you can pair it with 2 Solar Saga 100. Is that 100 watt? Yep. I think so. Oh, yep. 100 watt AC outlet, solar mobile lithium battery. So you can actually pair it and recharge the little battery pack with these solar units. Whoa, that's kind of cool. I'm thinking about the logistics of that. Obviously, during a storm, you're not going to be outside because there isn't going to be any sun for you to really be getting solar from. But after the rain passes, it could be that we don't have any rain, but you're still without power for a couple of days, as you can see, right? So all of you right now, there is nice sunshine outside who are still without power. This is something that at least you could get a few little things running off of it. It's not going to power the whole house. But here's the guy in his laptop, your vehicle's true soulmate, it says. So you could do a light. Yes. Oh, yes, that's right. I could plug in a light, phone, laptop, Wi-Fi router if the internet was still up, even a TV, security system, and a refrigerator. You could plug the refrigerator into this? What? So you have a wall outlet. Is that 5.5 hours? You have solar panels, 6.5 hours, and you have a car outlet. Oh, that's what that is. I was wondering what that little plug was for. 11.5 hours. Ooh, so like the little car plugs, Huh. Okay. I might have to think about this. All right, folks. It's on my wish list. Christmas is not too far off. Louis says there's also bulbs that recharge your normal use. And when the power goes out, you have lights for 8 hours. Mary removed 2 palm trees a few years ago from my yard. It was not close to electrical wires, but if they broke, it was a little close to my home that I wanted. So I wasn't taking any chances. So yes, be mindful when planting. Yes, I remember those trees, and Mary was giving the trees away. She's like, anybody want some adult palm trees? Here you go. So gas stove all the way, girl. I'm telling you, I was eating well. It was my birthday, so I'm like, y'all are not, listen, Grace was not going to starve me on my birthday. That was the one thing she was not going to do. Where is Flo? Well, we can reach out to Flo and find out what's going on. I didn't realize that there were so many Flo outages, to be honest. So let me see. I thought that Flo was pretty much back up. So yes, somebody else is saying, please send the links for the, I will. Oh, someone just sent me, Sandy, I have this one. It lasted 9 hours and it is Trifle. What is that? Is that the name of the brand? And can use gas, propane, and natural gas that can be hooked to the house. Also, I did not say he did not have a backbone, just that he's different. Who's different? I'm sorry, I'm missing what that bit is about. The generator costs $1,300 from Price Right. Ran my whole house with AC and everything. This is a regular generator? This looks tiny. Is that a regular generator? Okay. I wonder if does Cost You Less still have these things, I wonder? I mean, we're considering looking at a couple different options. And one option is to start one option is to get like the backup option that like it just kicks in automatically, so we don't have to turn it on or whatever. As soon as the power goes out, it knows that we're off the CUC grid and it just automatically kicks in. And those units, I think, test like once a week or something just to keep things going. Oh wow. Oh wow, somebody just sent some down power lines here. Out by Kaibo Yacht Club condos, Block C, next to Public Beach. Yes, I'll send that to Sasha. Let me see here now. Let me just pass that message along. Was there last night to get to the property and I couldn't get there. Buildings without power. Also, when our electricity came on, I heard a bang. That's normally not good. And looked outside and saw smoke coming from a pole. Awesome sparks. Call the manager, and she didn't see anything. Anonymous, if you mention it. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can pass these messages along. To the powers that be over at CUC. So yes, we'll definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't think that the bang would be a good indication of anything safe. So we'll see. Temperature in my fridge, the max prior to losing electricity, all stuff is still good. I didn't think about that, to be honest, but next time I will. So here's another comment about CUC. This person says CUC, in my opinion, is the best company on this island, and they must treat their employees very good because, contrary to popular belief, can't get Caymanians that you can count on. My hat's off to CUC for that, because I don't think I've met any foreigners interacting with us when anything is going wrong at CUC. I think there are many companies on this island that could reach out to CUC in regards to employing and keeping their people happy for the long haul. I must say that a lot of people in CUC have been there for donkey years, and they seem to be relatively happy. There's very few people. Now, there's a few that have left to greener pastures, but there are very few people that leave CUC. They're happy with the pay, they're happy with the working conditions, and the general understanding is that they feel like they are treated pretty well. So yes, I'm going to send you these options. Apparently, Amazon says it's on sale, $100 off. Well, not much of a savings, but it's better than nothing. They've got a few videos here.
From your backyard to the mountains, Jackery has your outdoor power needs covered.
Oh, it has a whole Jackery thing where you can.
The all new Explore 1000, one of the most powerful and compact portable power stations on the market, weighing only 22 pounds with an easy carry handle. Lithium battery generator packs a massive.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
It's much more travel friendly than traditional fuel generators. Our system features 3 AC outlets, a carport, 2 USB and 2 USB-C ports, including Quick Charge 3.0 technology to power your devices more efficiently. A smart LCD display provides accurate input, output, and battery level readings, while the side of the unit features a bright LED flashlight.
Oh wow, flashlight too?
In case of emergency.
Oh yeah, I'm getting me one of these.
And you'll never need to worry about running out of power again. Once the unit reaches low power, you can plug it into a wall outlet, car charger, generator, or better yet, try pairing it with
car
a
charger
100-watt solar panels to recharge on the go and
wow,
completely eliminate your carbon footprint. We've equipped the unit with an MPPT solar charge controller to offer up to a 20% increase in charging efficiency. Set up the ultimate campsite and power your lights, coffee machines, coolers, and
wow, check out that cooler.
Good night's sleep in the tent. And when the adventure takes you to the backyard, be the life of the party, bringing you and your friends quiet, clean energy while powering multiple devices simultaneously.
Electric grill, the blender, what? Projector, laptop.
In the event of a power outage, you can rest easy knowing that your Explorer 1000 can serve as a backup generator to keep your essential appliances up and running. Whether you're going camping, road tripping, or just need an emergency power solution,
I'm sold.
1000 has your outdoor power needs covered.
All right, I'm all for it, Jackery. I'm gonna check it out, but I'm feeling that might be a good move. But of course, you got to think about it, right? Do you spend? I mean, that's $1,000 US, albeit. That's kind of like a generator, but you know, probably a little bit less noise, a little bit cleaner. But I'm thinking to myself, I guess you could plug the fridge in. What else would be necessity? Probably the fridge and 1 or 2 little other things, appliance-wise. I have C3 and Digicel was online all through the storm. Thanks, Miss Judy. El Rey says prefer diesel. So yes, I wasn't aware, like I said, that there was any major outages with Flow, but we'll certainly reach out to them and see what they're saying. All right, so yes, here's the F-150 video. I'm going to put it up for you guys to watch at your leisure. I do want to focus a little bit more actually on what Carolina had sent us about food safety, because I feel like a lot of us are probably sitting here trying to decide, do we eat what's in the fridge or what right now? I'm not so sure, but this is a oh, this is only a 4-minute video. Oh, hold on a second. Let's watch this one. There is a longer one. That I'll try to see if I can get Marlon to send me. But this is just the quick snippet. Hold on. You guys are going to be blown away by this car. Like I'm telling you, if you're not even a car or truck person, when you see this, you're just like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Let me see if I can pull this up here. It's an all-electric car, by the way. Check it out.
It's got a targeted 775 pound-feet of torque. It's targeted to go from 0 to 60 in the mid-4-second range. It's a driving experience that's pure, unfiltered exhilaration from the moment you hit the accelerator. Oh, and it's an F-150. Introducing the all-electric F-150 Lightning, the smartest, most innovative F-150 we've ever built. Iconic F-150 capability meets advanced technology, meets electrification. for an experience that's more connected, more dynamic, and more unexpected than ever before. It's the quickest accelerating F-150 built yet, with the most targeted torque of any F-150 ever. It's one of the most thrilling rides we've ever built, truck or otherwise. But even when it's not being driven, it's still got the ability to amaze. Starting with Ford Intelligent Backup Power, which gives you the ability to offboard up to 9.6 kilowatts of power, enough to power a home for about 3 days. And with the available 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power onboard, you get 11 plugs, with enough power to keep your mobile business running. Or if you've got a table saw, a blender, a circular saw, a fan, a can opener, a kettle, a slow cooker, and a juicer that need powering, the F-150 Lightning is up to the task. Then, when the truck needs powering on the go, it's got access to the Ford Pass charging network. Easy to access, easy to customize, easy to pay for through the Ford Pass app. And at the front end of all this power, popping the hood has been completely redefined with the Mega Power Frunk, a walk-in closet that you can drive with 400 liters of storage, capable of hauling up to 400 pounds. Standard with 2.4 kilowatts of power up front, with 4 120-volt and 2 USB outlets. Storage that's customizable and lockable. The Mega Power Frunk is quite possibly the most useful innovation since the truck bed. Then, at the nerve center of all this capability, you get an available 15.5-inch touchscreen, which can be used to activate 4 different drive modes and access an impressive range of productivity-enhancing technologies, like Intelligent Range, which considers towing and payload, as well as terrain, traffic, and past driving behavior to automatically recalculate your range. It'll even program a new route if you need it. You also get an entire toolbox of available trailer tech. And most importantly, you get an F-150 Lightning with power-up, over-the-air software updates. That means you get a truck that's connected to engineers at Ford. If they find a way to enhance features, quality, experiences, capability, and convenience, it's possible to receive those updates wirelessly. Now, the F-150 Lightning runs nearly silently, but make no mistake, it's built Ford tough. Torture tested so it lives up to the F-Series standard. With the available extended range battery, Lightning has a targeted EPA estimate of 300 miles of range, targeted maximum available towing of 10,000 pounds, and targeted maximum payload of 2,000 pounds. Then, when the workday is over, 100% charging overnight. And it's designed to look like a truck, because that's what it is. The next chapter of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years running. It's not just another new EV. It's over a century of innovation and human insight, manifested in a revolutionary new pickup. It's a trusted workhorse, made more thrilling and useful than ever. It's the moment when Ford took electric and turned it into lightning. It's the only all-electric truck that's built Ford tough. It's the all-new F-150 Lightning.
So honestly, I've never wanted a truck before in my life, but now I'm completely open to the idea. Louis says it was built in Kansas. I don't know where it's built, but hey, anybody wants to buy one so we can take a test drive and see what it's all about? I'm up for it. Like, I am legit thinking maybe trucks are not that bad. Yeah, John, is that not cool? I put another video here that is the longer, detailed video. Please go watch it because it just blew me away. I was like, every other feature, I was like, oh, what? Now, listen, if I had a truck like that, I don't know what they cost or anything, so I have no clue. But I would not be throwing dirt in the back of that truck. I'd be like, please don't be messing up my truck. Yes, John, it's you got to check out. I just posted at 9:03. Check out that link there, folks. It's pretty awesome as trucks go. And like I said, I'm not even a truck person. Darlene says, I love trucks. Well, you're going to love Miss Darlene. I will send you the link to that in WhatsApp. You're going to love this one. Louis says he'll send one down, and the electric Mustang Yeah, I mean, that truck is like, whoa, I'm in love. All right, so let's talk about food and water safety during power outages and floods. Carolina Ferreira, thank you so much for this. Really appreciate this. So of course, preparation before the storm is important. Appliance thermometers to make sure that those in your freezer and refrigerator have been adjusted. So make sure that the temperature, the freezer temperature, is at or below 0 Fahrenheit, and that the refrigerator is at or below 40. So I got to check these things because I don't even know what mine's at. I'm going to share this link again in case you missed it when Carolina shared it. In case of a power outage, the appliance thermometers will indicate the temperature in the refrigerator and freezer to help you determine if the food is safe. So freeze containers of water for ice to help keep food cold in the freezer. Freeze containers of water. Okay. All right. If your normal water supply is contaminated or unavailable, the melting ice will also supply as drinking water. That's a good point. Freeze refrigerated items. Freeze them. Okay, not refrigerate them. Okay. Such as leftovers, milk, and fresh meat and poultry that you may not need immediately. This helps them to be kept at a safe temperature longer. Group foods together in the freezer. This will help the food stay colder. Okay. Have coolers on hand. Let me just pull the screen over this way. Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me just see here. So, my neck is kind of turning this way. It's got my neck hurting a little bit. So let me face this other monitor. So group foods together, right? Have coolers in hand to keep refrigerated food cold if the power goes out for more than 4 hours. Yes, so that's when you need to start to worry. Purchase or make ice cubes in advance and freeze gel packs ahead of time. Store all of these in the freezer for future use, in the refrigerator, and coolers. Okay. Check out local sources on where to buy dry ice and keep block ice, or where block ice can be purchased in case it's needed. Well, I don't think anybody here does block ice, do they? I don't think so. Store food on shelves. This will be safely out of the way of contaminated water in case of flooding. Okay, I had to think about that one for a second. Okay. Make sure to have a supply of bottled water, which we know, stored where it will be safe as possible from flooding. If your bottled water has an odor, do not drink it or use it. Instead, dispose of it. And if applicable, call your bottled water provider to make arrangements to get replacements. That's the big bottles. Of course, keep it away, your beverage containers, away from things like gasoline. Dispose of those things. Don't reuse them. So keep the refrigerator door closed. That's important as much as possible to maintain the cold temperature. The refrigerator will keep food cold for about 4 hours if it is unopened. You all know we'd be going in there looking to see what to take out. A full freezer will keep the temperature for approximately 48 hours. 24 hours if it is half full. If the door remains closed. So freezer will keep temperature for about 48 hours. So if we lost power in the morning, which we did around 5 o'clock, and then we got it back around 11 o'clock, that's less than 24 hours. So it says a full freezer will keep the temperature. So I think the stuff in the freezer is okay. Did we open the freezer for anything? At one point, I think my husband did. He took out some ice cream, then put it back. I was like, why did you take out the ice cream? But the ice cream still looked well frozen to me. So I think we're good with the stuff in the freezer based on this recommendation. Buy dry or block ice to keep the refrigerator as cold as possible if the power is going to be out for a prolonged period of time. If you plan to eat refrigerated or frozen meat, poultry, and so on, while they're still at safe temperature, it's important that each item is thoroughly cooked to safe minimum internal temperature, definitely. So if at any point your food was above 40 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours or more, or 1 hour if temperatures are above 90, discard it. So that's the rule for getting rid of food, it looks like. If at any point the food was above 40 degrees for 2 hours or more, or 1 hour if temperatures are above 90 degrees, and we're in the above 90 degrees, I think. So basically, that's the rule. Once power is restored, determine the safety of your food. So check the temperature when the power comes back on. If the freezer thermometer still reads 40 degrees or below, the food is safe and may be refrozen. If a thermometer has been kept in the freezer, check each package of food to determine its safety. You can't rely on appearance or odor. That's an important one. If the food still contains ice crystals or is at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, it's safe to refreeze or cook. If your power was out for more than 4 hours, refrigerated food should be safe as long as the doors, no more than 4 hours, my apologies. If the power was out for no more than 4 hours, refrigerated food should be safe as long as the doors were kept closed. When the power comes back on, check the temperature in the refrigerator. Well, we were more than 4 hours. Discard any perishable food such as meat, poultry, eggs. Do you think the eggs are safe? If we were gone from that would have been 5 o'clock until 11. I don't know, because I didn't check the temperature afterwards. So now I'm kind of wondering, do I get rid of the eggs? Probably better to be safe than sorry, because I already have a sensitive stomach, y'all. I can't be getting no food poisoning. I don't know what to do with the eggs. I'll probably just chuck them. I mean, it's only eggs, right? I can buy another pack of eggs. What do we think? Trying to think what else was in there. I don't think there's much. There's like cheese and stuff like that. I think that should be okay. But the eggs, eggs can be you gotta be careful with eggs. I don't know. All right, folks. Maybe that's useful. Alice, if we all had jobs or pay was decent, we could all afford that truck. I know, child. Trust me, that's an amazing truck. Alice says it's only over $40,000. I'm sure you can afford. Really? That's it for that F-150? Well, we can afford anything around here with a bank loan, more or less. Does solar panels work with the time overcast? Yes, I think you just get less from the sun, but you get some. I don't know how much, but so Alice says $40,000 can take that and put my whole house on propane. Give me a job that I can afford all that and more. Girl, you're not gonna be putting a house on propane for $40,000. I hate to tell you. You'd be surprised. You would really be surprised what these things cost, Alice. It's crazy. To get just a regular propane generator installed, we priced it recently. It's a lot of money. I'm thinking for that, it almost makes sense just to get the Tesla backup. Like it's like, Al says that he freezes everything. Leftovers always taste better, he thinks, if it's frozen. I don't feel like I have enough freezer space. This is where I do want another freezer. But then I think, do I really need? Wanting and needing something are two different things. I don't freeze a whole lot of food, to be honest, because I like to eat it within a couple of days of, if it's leftovers. So I don't know. We'll see. Interesting. Okie dokie. Miss Darlene, the things about eggs is you'll know right away if they've gone off. I don't know, child. I can never tell if an egg is bad. Then again, I don't think I've ever really had a bad egg. Is there something about if it floats, it's good? If it doesn't float, it's not good or something? There's a float test that I've heard of. So you've seen my opinion. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Miss. I put everything in my freezer before the storm started, knowing that the electricity would be going out. Example, milk, coffee creamer, anything that I knew could spoil quickly. So by the time our electricity came back on, the milk was then defrosting. So Sandra, can you use your power to suggest to the Minister of Health that they consider providing transportation once daily for older folks that have medical appointments at the hospital. It's embarrassing to see near cripples as they pass my property trying to get to the hospital. Oh my gosh, what a hot mess. Do you know that some MPs are already doing that? I'm still waiting on them to come on the show and tell us all about it. Oh, we have a link here that someone has sent about how to save toppled fruit trees. I think we need to get together with like a gardening company or something to show us how to do that. Okay, he's only came my 1 year and Okay, this is a long message, but it says, "Good morning. I live in an apartment from 2004 until now, and the guy moved there almost this time last year, and he get a car about November, October. The man parks the car in the walkway. I talked several times about it, and he still does it because he claims it's his doorway. I want to walk past. Who parks on the walkway though? That doesn't make any sense. I'm a Jamaican, and I hate the mentality of my own. Tuesday, I was packing my car to go at a shelter after work, and I had to leave all of my food inside because the man blocked the walkway. He only came out 1 year and some months. What a hot mess. But why does it, if he lives in an apartment complex, why do I don't know who owns the units, whatever, why do they allow it? I mean, you're just a tenant, so I think that your powers are limited in terms of enforcement, but certainly there should be someone there who can assist with that. To me, that's just crazy. All right. Alice says, well, Sandy's to start, rather use that money on doing that than buying a damn truck. Well, yes, it would be money well spent. But the truck is also a generator. So think about it that way. I mean, it's not just a truck. That is your generator. So it's like a dual purpose purchase. It's going to back up the whole house. I'm just saying. I don't know. Suzette is still waiting on her MP. Sabrina and her staff have been around Prospect. Proud of them. Who's your MP, Suzette? So Al says, everything that makes life easier, cheaper is always expensive to get. It's only poor people having these discussions. That's capitalism for you. How ironic. Yeah, that's for sure. El Rey says, fun facts about the F-150's onboard generator. I will check that out. The need for district council is urgent. There would be, this would be where they could put in place free transport for those elderly and disabled persons. Who's going to pay for all that, though? I mean, the district council will exist, but providing things like transport and stuff, who pays for it? Somebody's got to pay for it. Where does that money come from? So I think Miss Brenda is absolutely right. This is an opportunity for everyone to start thinking about preparedness, like just general preparedness, hurricane preparedness for sure. And I think we all are coming out of this with, lessons learned, like, that palm tree that has been growing for 20 years since almost Hurricane Ivan might now be a hazard. So perhaps we want to look closely at that. There's a lot of considerations, I think. So big shout out to Anya and her family who were able to get their dog back safely. I was sharing this with what are their names? Blake and Aaron earlier. But this is this little cutie went missing. My sweet look at him. So the daughter was very, very desperate to get Storm back. Storm is a full-bred Shih Tzu, weighs about 12 pounds, beige and tan colored. Has a pronounced underbite. You can see that little underbite right there. He's so cute. And he was last seen on Tuesday around midday running from the home of the owner's grandfather, Mr. Eldon Rankin, in the Windsor Park area. Now, this is amazing because I think he got kind of far. I think he ended up in South Sound. So I don't know how Storm did it, but little Storm is now back home. And like I said, the way that Storm got back home, I mean, he must have been quite an adventure. But you know, he did need medication and some other notes here. But yes, Storm, oh, he's so cute. Look at little Storm. He's so adorable. But yeah, he made it back safely after, like I mentioned, that a lady who had messaged us unrelated to Storm about the gate situation in Vela, by later on in the day, she was like, I have that dog. And I must tell you, at first when she said that, I was thinking, what dog? Like, what dog are you talking about? Because we have dogs that go missing. So I said, well, what dog? And sure enough, she managed to get her hands on Storm, and she sent the geolocation, and they went and checked it out, and it was Storm. I mean, I was just so shocked. I was like, really? But, you know, I'm shocked, but then at the same time, I'm never shocked because I always tell pet owners, have faith when your pets go missing, because I believe that they will always, 99% of the time, you'll be able to find them. So, of course, he went missing during the storm, or right before the storm. So there was a fear that something might have happened to him during the storm, but he was scared and hanging out. So yeah, he was found off of, I think, close to Moxham Road. And they sent a location of exactly where he was. I thought, how did Storm even get there? Yeah, he was on Moxham Road. And I'm like, wow, what are the chances? But there you go. Storm is found. And he's back home safe. You're welcome, Miss Brenda. It's just amazing, an amazing story. Thank you, Louise. Says good time to be a community that cares and works together to help each other. Putting aside self for others is something that takes training ourselves to tolerate each other. Absolutely. For sure. So Flashpoint says I use a combination of my generator to run my AC and solar, and was able to have some level of power until I was reconnected by CUC. So listen, folks, if you are in a position right now where you're still without power, please rest assured that CUC is working overtime. They're working very, very hard to get you connected. But I think the point is, maybe think about some alternative backup options just in case. You never know. Al makes the point is that you're going to spend over 40 grand to outfit your whole house with solar. With the truck and generator you set, it seems. Yes. I mean, I was thinking about that too, because Al, outfitting your house for solar can be more than $40,000 depending on the house. And the thing about it, that doesn't include the battery. So if you want to have power when there is no power, you'd have to spend at least another $10,000, $15,000 on top of the solar installation for the battery unit, like the Tesla battery that comes with that. Doesn't come with it, but you can get it. So that's a substantial amount. So if you're looking at and obviously with the truck, you're using it as a daily vehicle as well. So on the one hand, you are getting a lot of use out of it, I suppose. There's different ways to look at that, right? I don't know. I think that truck is very, very interesting, I must say. I'm just hoping a friend of mine will get it and that I can go for a ride and be like, wow, I was actually in that vehicle. So yes, all's well that ends well. Someone is sending some photos of this pool they moved and cut into the sort of create this improvement to CPA. All right, we will have a look at that. So I've got a friend who says that she wants to go and get her COVID test, her first shot. Y'all remember there's $100,000 on the line. So here's my offer. I'm going to be so generous to y'all. Listen, I've had my COVID shots. I'm eligible for the $100,000, but every single time I take in a friend, that increases my eligibility. So all y'all that are not vaccinated, I would be willing to split that $100,000 with you. Now, I don't know if it should be a 50-50 split, because technically I'm already eligible because I've been vaccinated. So if I win, I have no way of knowing if my eligibility was because I was vaccinated or because I took you in. But increasing my chances helps. So I'm a fair person, right? El Ray, you feeling where I'm going with this? I'm logical. So I'm thinking a 25-75 split. So if I take you in, I get another opportunity to win that $100,000. I give you 25% and I keep 75% for myself. I've been thinking about this. Is that a fair offer? Because like I said, every person you take in helps you. El Ray seems to agree that maybe that is a fair offer. So yes. So I'm going to find out about the vaccine clinic and that particular friend. I'm definitely taking her in, child. We're going to be splitting us some money. The bigger picture here, of course, folks, is that we need people vaccinated. Look at poor Jamaica. Lord have mercy. When you thought it couldn't get any worse, Jamaica's going to have 7 days of a full lockdown. Wow. COVID cases continue to rise. I mean, it's just ridiculous what's happening there now. So they're going to have 7 days of what he's calling no movement days. That's a nice way of saying we are going into lockdown again because we can't get a hold of this COVID situation. Jamaica is just really struggling to sort it out. Let me show you some stats from last week. This was on August the 16th. So I don't have, yes, it's like a vaccine bounty. I agree. I don't have any updates since this date, but this is kind of what they were trending with, right? So look at this. 513 new cases in a 24-hour period of time. From the 15th to the 16th. This was posted on the 16th. So these were results really from the 15th, really, I guess. 513 new cases, 11 new deaths, 42 recovered, over 92, almost 93 active cases. And I mean, they only tested 956. So when you think about it, over half the people just about that they had tested positive. My God, that's a lot actually when you think about it that way. Wow. 46.1% of the public tests that they're conducting are testing positive. They said the private rate, I'm guessing most people are just not doing private testing, is 3.3%. Hospitalizations, 443. Moderately ill, 107. Critically ill, 46 are critically ill. They're running out of beds. I mean, it's just a hot mess in Jamaica right now, folks. I cannot believe that this just continues to ravish them and the people just are not listening. So starting from Sunday, they're going to start this no movement days. And you'll only be able to seek urgent medical care. And those who have overseas travel plans can make their way to and from the airport. And some vaccination sites will also be open to allow persons with appointments to get the COVID vaccine. Wow. No funeral service will be allowed. Imagine this. From August the 25th through September the 7th. No funeral service? What? So what are you going to do with all these dead people? Only 15 persons are allowed for burials. Only 30 minutes is allowed for burials, Monday to Friday, 9 to 4. Oh, you can bury them, but you can't have a funeral service. Wow. That's kind of tough. Number of people allowed to gather is 10. A work from home order is in place for the public sector, and the private sector is encouraged to follow. So civil servants, they will not be allowed to go to work. Wow. They're trying to bring the infection rate down. We'll see how it works for them. Sad. Really crazy. Ay. Suzette says that El Ray's really got his eyes on that F-150. I'm telling you, folks, so do I. And I'm not even a truck person. So I'm still thinking, this looks interesting. So what happened if your recommendation person won the $100,000? Ooh, Al. You know, I hadn't even thought about it. Like if they win, I should be brokering a deal in the other direction as well. You're so smart, Al. I wasn't even thinking if they won, like I should get a piece of that pie too. So yeah, I think it should be the same deal, don't you think? I need to ask beforehand. Now, should we put that in writing? You guys know I'm being funny here, right? But if you have this agreement amongst friends, it's like in the US, you say, oh, I'm going to play the lottery with a pool, but you go buy the lottery ticket with your dollar, and then you win the mega millions. Are you going to be a person of your word and split the money? Or you're going to be greedy. Most people have been a person of their word, but there's been those occasional times when others don't want to share. And so if they don't want to share, if you don't have it in writing, folks, you probably got a problem. Tamara says big parties keeping, that's the biggest one. The PM give okay to keep, plus an MP had a big party in their parish. Child, they're just not going to get it until, I don't even know what else needs to happen because they've already run out of beds, out of hospital beds. I was watching a video from Jamaican News yesterday that a lot of the nurses are doing like sit-ins, like they're not even coming to work, like they don't even want to be bothered anymore. August the 4th, the Jamaican hospital there, the University Hospital, I think this was UWI, ran out of beds as COVID cases surged. So it's nothing new. So I don't know. President of the Medical Association of Jamaica told Power 106 that additional bed spaces would be needed. It's crazy. Sonia says, if you don't obey, it is what it is. Louis says, yes, split the money. Morna says they need to listen to Mr. Andrew, their prime minister, stop the parties, etc. They're not listening. Sad, but 1 week should understand how this pandemic is no joke. Al is thinking a 50-50 split is more equitable. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. We will have a gentleman's honor agreement. In other words, we won't find the necessity to put it in writing. Good, folks. That's all I've got for you right now. The show is over, believe it or not. It is the weekend. So as usual, over the weekend, we implore you to do your best to, just try to stay safe. Some additional comments came in about the minister that was missing, the former premier. One person said, let me just try to find this comment. Basically, that's what you get for not voting in Sammy. Let me just see where that comment was. Yes, this person says they should have elected Sammy for Red Bay and Aussie for Bordentown East. And of course, those are the two ministers that are missing. Someone is just asking, any idea what's happening on Whitman Seymour Road? At least 6 or 7 police cars at the residence. Where's Whitman Seymour? That's in Georgetown, right? Oh yeah, that's down by Wellis. Oh. Might be going on down there. 6 or 7 police cars. Y'all keep me updated. I'm here for it. So good job so far. The PAC government, they have a number of initiatives in place, folks. They've set up, Department of Environmental Health has these drop-off sites. Please check the website because we'll put all these stories up there. The East End Post Office remains closed until electricity is restored. We have, let me just see here. We have some other announcements. So obviously there's certain locations that will have the drop-off site locations. I think they've already got that list up. So we'll put that up for you guys. DH recommendations and post-hurricane food safety. So they did issue this as well. So we'll have this up on the website here shortly. So those of you who are concerned about food safety, this is important to read. So the temporary debris management sites, let me just screen grab this for you in case you need to know where these are. I don't think right now they want people just showing up at the landfill, which yesterday there was a long line of trucks that were there. as people sought to just drop stuff off. So here we go, right? North side, the vacant lot next to Old Man Bay Dock, Baden Town, at the Government Emergency Training Site on Anton Baden Road. Prospect, the NRA stockpile at Poindexter Road. And then one in West Bay, which is a vacant crown land next to the Ed Bush Stadium. All right. So thanks, Louis, for the reminder. No drinking and driving over the weekend or ever. It's reckless and it causes people their life, quite frankly. So, folks, the regiment is going to be heading out this morning. Actually, it's been postponed. Regiment's coming at 10:30 a.m. Oh, yes. No, they're heading at 10:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. But the park, this is the Botanic Park, folks, still needs volunteers, manpower, rakes, chainsaws, asking for folks to please donate, as well as contact. You can donate to the CNB account here in the name of the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. Folks, the park was actually devastated. We're going to put up a story about this here shortly. And we will be heading out there as well. This park is so beautiful. I have enjoyed many walkthroughs of the park over the years. I love it. My daughter loves to go and get in little, that little cocoon looking thing that they built there out of wood. But the park has sustained a lot of damage. And so they need a lot of help. Trees are split. I swear, some of these look like lightning must have hit the trees, the way that they're split, right? So they really need a lot of volunteers. They need your help. So we're going to go out there and do a little assessment a bit later on to let you see for yourselves what it looks like. But please take my word for it. Just in the pictures that I've seen, it's not a good situation at all. So we're begging you to come out and assist. They still have not been able to get a full understanding of all of the damage, but they know that it's significant. And they have so many indigenous plants, orchids, everything at the Botanic Park that now could potentially be in danger. So folks, if you have equipment, spare time, even just be able to donate some money to get the effort going, please assist. They really need the help. So that's where we're at, I think, with announcements. I'm just checking my email to see if anything else has come in. That is super. We'll post the one from the premiere as well on our website again for people to see that. Post alerts from the Water Authority. So they've got some tips to do afterwards. So inspect your home for any damaged pipes or leaking faucets, especially if you have any uprooted trees. A small leak can consume large quantities of water. Folks, this is probably a good opportunity to go and check your water meter. If you notice any broken or damaged water mains, please report those to the Water Authority. Their emergency line is 946-4347. Avoid contact with standing water, flood water. That's going to help prevent exposure to health risks, chemical hazards, and injuries. I see people walking in knee-deep water, and that's never really a good idea. All right. So Works has rescheduled their job drive until next week. So we're going to post this up on the website as well. It was supposed to take place today at the Westin, and it will now be next week, the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th. So this is the rescheduled job drive. If you're unemployed, this is your opportunity. By the way, we posted yesterday that I don't know if this is a private entity that's hiring. I think it is, but they're looking for people to assist with the cleanup. And folks, they're paying $10 an hour. This ain't no minimum wage job because it's going to be quite a bit of work. So contact them. There's a number in the social media post. We also have a lot of license plates have been found. So check out the Windsor Park area. We posted that yesterday. and some other quadrants of Georgetown. So today, the camp wraps up for the journalism camp. So I'm going to go out there this morning and just say hi again to those guys. Obviously, lots going on. And we're going to just check in with them. And then after that, I'm going to head out to the Botanic Park. Thank you, Paul, joining us from Bermuda. Good, folks. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, please. Have a safe weekend. And we will certainly see you guys throughout the day as we'll be reporting on location. And then going into the weekend, if anything breaking happens, you'll be sure to hear it here on CMR as well. Have a safe one.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.